What do the numbers 34 points per game and 11.4 assists per game tell you? Well, probably nothing, but they tell me that Nate Archibald in 1973 was absolutely robbed of the MVP. You know who won the MVP that year? Dave Cowens. Put up an astounding 20 points per game to go along with 16 rebounds. Now, if he led the league in rebounds, I could see the argument, but he didn't. He was almost 2.5 rebounds shy of leading the league in rebounds. In fact, the guy who came in number 2, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, averaged 10 more points than him and literally 0.1 less rebounds. So, I don't know how Dave Cowens got the MVP, quite honestly, but it is what it is. But Nate Archibald, on the other hand, it was the first and only time someone has led the league in both scoring and playmaking. Now, how he doesn't win the MVP, I don't know. He led in 2 of the 3 major statistical categories that they kept track of back then. But it's whatever. I'm just here to tell you about Nate Archibald, perhaps the most forgotten NBA legend. Now, just to show you guys how irrelevant he's kind of become in a sense, when you Google Nate Archibald, a friggin' Gossip Girl character comes up. What the hell? We're talking about an NBA legend here, and you're telling me that a Gossip Girl character is more relevant to Google than Nate Archibald. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Nate Archibald, he was a point guard for the the Kansas City Royals and the Boston Celtics back in the day. He also had stints with the New York Nets and Milwaukee, but wasn't too great in either of those seasons. Now, he had insane speed. A lot of people regard him as perhaps the quickest player in the league. Some even say he's the quickest of all time. He's listed at 6'1", but people have said that he might have been even shorter than 5'10". Nate Archibald, it's amazing to think that a guy who was perhaps shorter than 5'10" led the league in scoring and playmaking. He didn't just focus on one thing. He was a good all-around player. He was a 6-time All-Star in his career, 3 in Kansas City, 3 in Boston. And, if it wasn't for the Achilles injury that he suffered in 1977, which kept him out of the entire 1979 season, who knows how good he could have been, because his years in Boston weren't that great. In his 3 All-Star years in Boston, he averaged a combined 12.9 points and 8 assists. So, if you're averaging 13 points and 8 assists, you're not that great of an all-star, but, he still made it. It still goes on to his career resume. But Nate Archibald, man, people say that he was just, an amazing finisher at the hoop, and he had a really good jump shot for his time. Jump shots weren't that common in the 1970s, consistently good jump shooters, but Nate Archibald, people say, was one of them. If you just go on Basketball Reference, just go down to the awards and honors leaderboards tab, he just shows up on so much. He was genuinely so underrated, and he just never gets talked about enough. Now, I made the video the other day about DJ Wilson, how he's never talked about, and that one did actually really good, so thank you guys for that. But that's why I kind of wanted to make this video about Nate Archibald. He never gets talked about. And it's just a shame to me, because honestly, if he won that MVP in 1973, which he should have won in my opinion, maybe we would talk about him today as one of the great point guards of all time, but he never gets brought up into the conversation. Part of that maybe just because he never won a championship as well, but, who knows, I still, would have been interested to see, what could have happened in his career if he didn't suffer that Achilles injury, because that really did hurt him. When you get a bad injury like that keeps you out for the entire season, you lose some athleticism, you kind of, it's just not good. If you guys have ever suffered an injury like that, you know what I'm talking about, also it kind of brings you down, but, so, Nate Archibald was really good, just some of his other seasons other than his MVP season. The year before that, he averaged 28 points and 9 assists. In 1975, he averaged 26.5 points with 7 assists. In 76, he averaged 25 points and 8 assists. And that was when they started recording steals. A couple years before that, he was averaging 1 steal a game. or over 1 steal a game. He had the 1977 season where he was averaging 20 points per game. You know, like the 1980 season, he was averaging 14 points, 8 assists. You know, like he's just one of the most like forgotten guys in NBA history, and I feel like we should really be paying more attention to him, and we really should be bringing him up more when it comes to like all-time point guard discussions. Now, I'm not saying he's like, you know, better all-time than like Curry or Magic or Stockton or something like that, but like, you know, like he never really gets any consideration. Like whenever I see like top 10 point guards, he's either not in there, he's at like the very bottom. Like, you know, like I've seen people put like Gary Payton above him, and I mean, like, you know, the argument's there, but like, I don't know, man. But like, I've just seen him like been so snubbed before, just like on Twitter and in videos. You know, like it's really a shame to me, man, how, you know, someone that great just gets forgotten like that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Sorry if I wasn't like too prepared for this one, or like I sounded weird or something like that. I don't know, this was just kind of like a quickie. Let me know if you guys want to see any more videos about like forgotten NBA players, or if you guys want me to do a video on a specific player, whether they're like a rookie, they're retired, they're in the league right now. Just let me know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Also, shout out to my boy Bake. It's his birthday, and I'm gonna play his outro at the end as a surprise, so follow him.
She see money all around me. I look like I'm the man. Yeah, but I was down and out like last week.